Hello there and welcome. Welcome to a very special video. Digital Foundry, the home of the state-of-the-art in gaming technology. We're going to be producing a video which basically involves taking a console out of a box. And joining me to enjoy this particular experience, well, hello there, John Linneman.
Yes, we're upping the ante, as they say. We're doing a double unboxing this time. So we're both going to unbox these things at the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's twice the excitement.
Absolutely. It's kind of like Christmas.
Kind of.
And it's going to be an unboxing of biblical proportions, up there with that time where the Nazis unboxed the Ten Commandments in Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is how big this is. And here we are with our box, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I'm sure that long-time Digital Foundry viewers will have already noticed that, yes, indeed, my box was ripped as soon as I took it out of the packaging. In fact, it was ripped in the packaging. So, yes.
Wait, yours was ripped?
Yep, brings back some memories.
How much time did it spend at the gym? Yeah. Mine is not ripped somehow.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not surprised.
Did you get the stand as well?
I did not.
What?
They did not have a spare stand for me.
Wow.
I'm sorry to say.
That's outrageous.
I know, man.
Okay, so that particular part of the experience is going to be down to me, I guess. But shall we begin? Shall we literally open the box? Okay.
I've got my knife ready. Let's do this. So I'm going to flip this box here. First of all, on the back here, they've got, I mean, it's worth pointing out, it says Witness Play Unleashed. But underneath it says Belief Play Unleashed.
Okay. Oh dear.
So in packaging, where my wife works, they call this the first consumer moment of truth. So when you the moment of truth, yeah, the consumer moment of truth. This is the first one. So okay. I'm going to try to get this out without ripping the box.
Well, that's a thing that I can't particularly do right now. Well, you may recall at the end of one of the DF Direct weeklies, I predicted what the unboxing experience would be like. And what I predicted was a thin outer cardboard shell giving way to a white cardboard box. Let's see how... I'm just going to rip this completely because it's just getting in the way at this point.
Oh, this part of the experience is not... Oh, the mic's getting hit now. There we go. It's off. Not ripped.
Excellent. Well, here we are. The white box that I predicted. We've made it. It's here. Time to open the white box. We are literally unboxing now. Okay, so we've got some flaps here. Power cable has already come out. 3 components. 4 even.
So if you look here, we've got good reading material. This is going to go straight to the bathroom. So good reading material for anyone there. Okay,
well that's interesting. I don't seem to have had the manuals.
You don't have manuals?
Not in that top section. What I have got is let's do an inventory.
You know what, Rich? I opened it up backwards. So this is good. You're doing the top one. I'm doing the bottom opening experience.
That's awesome. Okay, so I've got a USB-C to USB-C cable. I've got an HDMI 2.1 cable, which is all very, very interesting, right? HDMI 2.1. And I have the power cable. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Now that I've opened it up correctly, though, this is probably one distinction between us, is that I actually have a European-style power plug here.
Which you would hope for, really, because you live in Germany and I live in the UK. And a standard DualSense controller. So there we go, that's what you get.
Is this the little plastic doohickey?
It's for a horizontal situation.
Placement.
Horizontal placement situation for the PlayStation 5 Pro. So that's it. That's everything that you're going to get in the top of the package. And yes, USB-C, HDMI, and a power cable and a DualSense controller. It's exactly as planned so far. Let's take all of that off. Yeah, it's time to now actually unbox. There is a box, it shall be unboxed. Let's lift up the flap. Yep, and it's exactly the same as PlayStation 5 really. Let's take this beast out.
You're doing it in the correct orders.
Yeah, I have now got the manuals. The manuals are here. Because everybody reads the manuals.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you've got the unit. It's out.
I've got the unit. It is quite a unit. So yes, exactly as planned, as expected really. A console that's in packaging. Hooray! Let's take the packaging off.
Let's take it off. Okay. So we've got... I'm going to say this already seems smaller than the regular PlayStation 5 that I have back there.
Well, we could do some comparisons because I've got my units here. So
I think it says tall, but it's less deep.
It's lighter than I imagined, John. Don't know what you think about that.
I agree.
Very light. Interesting.
Wow, it's a lot lighter than the regular PS5 for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at the back there, standard stuff, HDMI, LAN. We've got two USB Type Bs, or Type A rather. Super speed, it says, and the power input. And there it is. There is the PlayStation 5 Professional. What a joy.
Look at that. It is the professional PlayStation. This looks a lot better than I expected.
It is very, very small, relatively, compared to what I was expecting. I'll be honest with you.
This is a lot smaller than I expected. I mean, I saw the unit at TGS, but when you actually see it here versus the monstrosity behind me, it is definitely noticeably smaller.
It is indeed. Actually, I'm going to bring up my monstrosity, and you can kind of get an idea of how much bigger it is. That's
wow. Yeah.
That's quite remarkable, actually. I haven't actually put the stand on yet, so it's not quite the like-for-like comparison that it should be, but it's definitely the depth is certainly smaller. The height, I think, once the stand is on, it's going to be much the same. On the back there, it looks like the whole sort of exhaust and cooling there is significantly slimmer. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to take the monstrosity off the table for now, and I think it's time to add on the stand, the vertical stand.
You'll have to do that since I don't have one.
Yes, so well, let's unbox the stand. This is
there going to be a white box in there?
I'm going to put money on there being a white box. Well, here we are with the stand. A screw, a plate, and the stand itself. Now, I'm going to... This is quite interesting, John. This plate, you might be wondering what it is, right? Let's have a quick look at that for the camera. The plate that's in there. And for the purposes of this particular exercise, it doesn't actually solve any purpose whatsoever. What it is a compatibility plate for the launch PlayStation 5. So even though the launch PlayStation 5 came with a stand in the box, you can actually connect this particular stand to the launch PlayStation 5. I'm not going to do it. I've got a perfectly good
That reminds me of when
stand.
the 32X shipped with, it was the Mega CD2 shipped with an extra connector for Mega Drive 1 units. So you have that extra plate that you could attach.
So looking at the bottom of the unit there, there's a little cap there which you take out. If I can take it out, there we go. Yeah, there we go. You can hear that reassuring click. Mm-hmm. The screw goes in. There we go. And the little cap that you had, oops. The little cap, which thankfully didn't fly out on the floor there, now slots into place into the secondary hole that's there, and you're good to go. You're done. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And I can bring up now my PlayStation 5 Slim, which uses the same stand.
I gotta say, those racing stripes are pretty sharp
yeah.
on the PS5 Pro.
PlayStation 5 Slim, PlayStation 5 Pro. Not much in it, I'd say. They're very, very similar units, which is, again, surprising. Let's tilt them around. And let's bring up the launch model.
Rich, I've got a treat for the viewers here. We're going to compare the size to the PlayStation 2 with stand. Here we go. Cool. It's happening on my desk. See if I can get a good angle on this. Oh, it's hard with the way my camera's set up here. It is noticeably taller than the PlayStation 2 with stand, but it is slimmer. Okay, let me hold it up to the front camera here. Here we go. What do you think? Mm-hmm. See, I can fit the... Look, the PS5 can't fit in the frame. The PS2 does, but I got the blue stand on the PS2 at least. So
awesome!
I am just drowning in power here. Mm-hmm. I feel like these should be able to be hooked up with FireWire for additional power. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they could be hooked up via LAN cables to create some kind of supercomputer, PS3 style.
Absolutely, man. The PS2 is a handsome box, though. I got to say.
Your praise isn't quite as sort of forthcoming for the PlayStation 5, however.
Well, this new one, I have to admit, is significantly better looking than the original model.
It's got a more refined presence, I think. Same goes for the Slim, really. I've never really paid too much attention to the Slim, but there it is. I think it's a fairly decent looking unit. Okay then, so the PlayStation 5 Professional. We've done the impossible. We've removed it from the box. We have attached the vertical stand. Where do we go from here? Well, we'd have liked to have added the optical drive, but that's off the table. But something has emerged from the manuals that we disregarded so callously earlier. So let's take a look at the manual. Now within, it's actually the safety guide, funnily enough, but it has...
Safety guide.
Yes. It has the official specifications for the PlayStation 5 Pro here. And what's interesting about this is that we've not really had these from Sony yet, and there are some interesting points to it. The memory is now confirmed as having an extra 2 gigabytes of DDR5. So we know from the leaks that there was something like 1.2, 1.3 gigabytes of extra memory available to developers. So I reckon they're shunting maybe system level functions to this other memory, giving the faster memory to the games. That's interesting. Also interesting is that maximum power output is now rated for 390 watts. That's not actually going to be how much power the games take to run. It's kind of like just total capacity of the power supply. But it is actually quite low, bearing in mind that the PlayStation 5 Slim is 340 watts for the digital edition. So yeah, obviously this machine has more performance, it's going to require more power. But here's the thing that's quite interesting from my perspective. It says here that the graphics side of things is rated for 16.7 teraflops. Now, John, the leaked specifications were talking about 33.5. So there's a disparity there, and it makes me wonder whether there's other bits of information which were probably incorrect in those leaks. What do you think?
Right. It does seem that way, doesn't it? That's very interesting, actually, because we haven't actually seen that specific number, and I think the teraflop wars are over at this point, where now there are other factors that determine the overall system performance level. But it is funny if you kind of Atari Jaguar style do the math. They've essentially bolted on an Xbox One X worth of teraflops onto the PS5. Resulting in this machine,
it like that.
right? Like that's what they've done here, essentially. Yep. And it just, I think it's interesting that it's now been relegated to like this little bit of manual, and it's no longer part of the marketing or anything like that. And it just kind of shows that it's not really that important anymore. Yeah, the clock speeds are also missing compared to prior specs that Sony have released here. I guess that is relevant, but the question is when Sony are going to actually disclose that, if they're going to disclose it at all. I think we've seen from estimates it's about 2.17, 2.18 gigahertz there, but we just have to see whether that information emerges. But the leak was saying 33.5 teraflops. This says 16.7. It seems to me that an RDNA 3 feature, dual issue FP32, which isn't particularly relevant for gaming performance, isn't actually a feature of the PlayStation 5 Pro GPU. So an interesting spec point, but nothing that's particularly game-changing as such. But I think that's it, John. I think we have done the job here. We have removed a console from a box. We've discussed various elements of that. We've talked about specs. Job done, right? Yeah, I'm afraid that's it. We really can't do much more than this with the PS5 Pro at this particular moment, right?
Right.
So we know what it looks like. We know we know roughly what it weighs. I guess the big takeaway for me is that it is smaller and lighter than I expected.
Yeah.
I genuinely was expecting this to feel very similar to the base PS5. And then, but that's not the case at all. It's a really nice little machine. And I think it's a better looking design, I would say, than the regular PS5, which is just unwieldy and gigantic.
Okay, well, let's wrap this up. We've got actual coverage of the PlayStation 5 Professional coming soon. We'll be sharing our impressions on various Pro upgrades. We'll be taking a look at that PlayStation 4 image enhancer. PS5 Game Boost, how does it actually improve the experience for existing PS5 titles? We'll be taking a look at that. But that's all from us on this one. I guess we'll see you soon in the next video.